OU Athletics suspends 2 players. Another day, another mass shooting. We have the very latest. And will this rainy weather stick around? The weather team breaks down the forecast for Family Weekend. OU Nightly starts now. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Olivia Dague.
And I'm Sofia Olivas. We begin tonight with breaking news. The OU Athletic Department confirms that 2 student athletes have been suspended after their possible involvement in a situation where the Norman police were called. According to an SI article posted online, the 2 members are of the football team. The article quotes a Norman police captain who says the incident they were investigating was a robbery where guns were involved. The article also says there are 3 suspects in the incident, but only indicates 2 may be student athletes. OU Nightly reached out to the OU Athletic Department for a comment where they say, quote, "We are aware of a matter that may involve OU student athletes and are monitoring the situation closely. The student athletes in question have been suspended pending the outcome of an ongoing investigation. We have no other information to share at this time." OU Nightly will keep an eye on this story and bring you the latest information just as soon as it is available.
And more breaking news out of D.C. One man with ties to the Oath Keepers pleaded guilty for crimes related to the January 6th U.S. Capitol riots. John Ryan Schaefer, a founding member of the far-right anti-government militia organization, became the first to flip in the domestic terrorism investigation, which has led to charges against over 400 people. He pleaded guilty to obstruction of an official proceeding and entering a building with a dangerous weapon. Prosecutors agreed to recommend he get a sentence of between 3.5 to 4.5 years of prison. Many of the Capitol riot defendants have expressed interest in pleading guilty, but those deals have been slowed down while prosecutors wait for a sign-off from Justice Department officials.
In another developing story this afternoon, we now know the name of a former employee who opened fire at a FedEx facility in Indianapolis. Investigators confirmed him as 19-year-old Brandon Scott Hull. Daryl Forges has more in Indianapolis.
What we are left with this morning is grief.
For at least the 45th time in the span of a month, a community rocked by a mass shooting.
Grief for the employees who have lost their coworkers, and grief for the many Americans struggling to understand how tragedies like this continue to occur.
At least 8 people are dead and multiple injured after a gunman opened fire at an Indianapolis FedEx facility late Thursday night. The gunman also dead, police say, after taking his own life.
There was no disturbance, there was no argument. He just appeared to randomly start shooting, and that began in the parking lot.
Many of you have already asked what the motive of this shooting was, and with less than 12 hours since the shooting, it would be premature to speculate.
Families and friends reuniting with the survivors after spending the overnight hours trying to get information about their loved ones, as many employees did not have their cell phones on them while working inside. In Washington, President Joe Biden ordering flags to half-staff as his administration confronts yet another mass shooting.
There is no question that this violence must end, and we are thinking of the families that lost their loved ones.
In Indianapolis, I'm Daryl Forges.
Now, we just confirmed that President Joe Biden did order flags to be at half-mast as his administration confronts yet another mass shooting.
A shooting in Oklahoma City last night left a 16-year-old dead. Police identified the victim as Victor Felix Loya in the parking lot of Wheeler Park. Neighbors say they heard as many as 20 shots fired when they called 911. Investigators think the shooting stemmed from a heated argument. A second juvenile has been treated and released with non-threatening gunshot wounds. Police are still investigating the situation.
Police in San Antonio say an officer making a traffic stop in San Antonio was shot by the car's driver last night. The San Antonio Police Chief William McManus says the officer made a traffic stop and had what looked to be a casual conversation with the driver. The driver then shot the officer, striking him in the hand. The officer retreated backwards while shooting into the vehicle, hitting 3 people in the truck, killing 2 of them. Multiple shots were fired from the truck and the officer.
Well, it was cold and rainy this morning. Now it's just cold.
And it's still wet. Reece Cole joins us outside with an update on when we'll see sunny skies again. Reece, how you doing out there?
Sofia and Olivia, I'm standing outside on South Greek right now with Mom's Weekend in Wake for everybody here, bringing up the families in Norman for some events and activities, but most of them have moved inside this weekend, or at least tonight, because of some rain and some showers. Live radar right now shows the bulk of the rain has moved to Missouri and up into Arkansas, but we still have some scattered showers for us in the area. And the current temperatures right now for the state, low 50s for us in most of the state, but the Panhandle even colder and some low to mid 40s. Now coming up in Maine weather, Emma's going to have more information about a sunshine-filled weekend that will clear out the rain tonight, and a cold front coming in Monday into Tuesday that'll bring us a significant cool down and a chance for some snow and mixed precipitation into April. For now, reporting live, Reece Cole, where I wish I was inside, where it was a little warmer and a little drier.
Thanks, Reece. Tulsa could drop its mask mandate as soon as the end of this month. City officials cited the rapid decline in COVID hospitalizations as one of the big reasons to drop the mandate. Removing the mask requirements in Tulsa does not mean we are out of the woods with COVID, according to Tulsa Mayor G.T. Bynum. Bynum says, quote, "We should still exercise caution, and the absence of a mask order does not mean people should start burning their masks." The state of Oklahoma ranks 21st in the nation with 23% of the state's population fully vaccinated.
Now, the Sooner State has seen a decline in cases as more than 2.3 million doses of the vaccine have been administered. The Oklahoma State Department of Health reports 10,030 active cases in the state, with 273 of those reported new today. The CDC is also reporting over 8,000 total deaths for Oklahoma, with 10 of those reported today.
Oklahoma City is looking to write a new law that will withstand the Supreme Court's decision that overturned the OKC ban on panhandling. The court ruled that the panhandling ban was unconstitutional because of free speech rights. An OU law professor says the impact of having this law would be devastating to not just everyone and not just the homeless community.
That not only devastated the ability of panhandlers to beg for necessities, but it did widespread collateral damage on the speech of everyone else in the community. I mean, if you wanted to hold a political sign, Black Lives Matter, or if you wanted to campaign for votes on election day, or if you were a firefighter wanting to fill the boot for charity, you were suddenly a criminal as well.
The City Council majority claims the ordinance is necessary for public safety. However, there have been no incidents with panhandlers in the past.
After Joe Biden acknowledged Russia did interfere with U.S. elections, Russian leaders are retaliating.
Hear how U.S. officials are being affected.
And communist leader is stepping down in Cuba.
After the break, we will hear those updates and more from the News Center. Welcome back to OU Nightly. Russia has banned a string of top officials from President Biden's administration from entering the country. Alyse Jones has that story and the rest of today's headlines from around the world.
8 senior U.S. officials have been added to a list of diplomats banned by Russia. The ban comes one day after President Biden announced sanctions against Russia for interfering in the 2020 election, conducting a massive cyber attack, and being involved in other hostile activities. The United States Attorney General, FBI chief, and President Biden's chief domestic policy advisor are all on the list of those banned from the country. And Raul Castro announced his resignation as the head of Cuba's Communist Party today. His resignation ends an era of leadership by the Castro brothers that dates back to the 1959 revolution. Castro said he feels he has fulfilled his mission and is confident in the future of the fatherland. He did not announce who he will endorse as his successor. And the funeral of Prince Philip will be held at St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle tomorrow. Ladies, the service will be streamed online and broadcasted on major networks at 9 a.m.
Thanks, Alyse. A new bill heading to the House could allow cocktails to be delivered here in Oklahoma. OU Nightly's Lauren Johnson has more.
Last year, they allowed restaurants, liquor stores, and grocery stores to do curbside pickup or delivery. Now they introduce Bill 2122.
Bill 2122 is also known as the Cocktails to Go Act. This bill would allow single-serve cocktails or mixed drinks to go, as long as they are in tamper-proof containers.
If passed, these to-go drinks can be delivered
right to your door.
Some Oklahomans like the idea of this bill, but show some concern, like college student Hope McMillan.
I think it's a good idea. I feel like it could also be a bad idea for some people, just because there's that problem with like drinking and driving and stuff like that. So people definitely just need to be careful.
The to-go drink must not be in reach of the driver when taking it home or having it delivered, like having it in the rear compartment or trunk. If delivered, the driver must be 21 and verify the customer's age. The bill also prohibits third-party deliveries like Grubhub, Postmates, or Uber Eats.
So only your licensed restaurants can deliver your drinks. Lauren Johnson, OU Nightly.
The Senate passed this bill, sending it to the House for final review. If approved, the bill will take effect July 1st, but will not last forever.
And you might be surprised when we tell you one of the biggest dinosaurs lived right here in Oklahoma.
Now, speaking of surprising, there's a chance of a wintry mix coming up soon. Emma?
Yeah, it's definitely a surprise considering we're just in April, but I'll have more details on that coming up. And welcome back to OU Nightly. Taking a look outside our Oklahoma City skyline cam, we see lots of foggy and misty conditions. It is all due, well, we're at 53 right now, but this is all due to lots of rain showers that we've had the past couple of days. 52 as our current temperature. We are much colder up in that panhandle, but live radar is looking like lots of those showers have now left our area, moving further east. And looking at the 3-day outlook right now, Saturday we're going to stay fairly cool, 55 degrees, but those northerly winds are going to kind of move into switch direction to where we are going to warm up. So your Sunday is at 63, and hey, Monday we're going to reach those 70s. So this is looking very nice, very beautiful, but definitely take advantage because after Monday we're going to have a cold front that's going to drop our temperature. So looking at this for more detail, we can start to see for your Saturday, your weekend, this high pressure system is going to hang around. It's going to keep us nice and warm before this cold front makes its way in, and it's dropping those temperatures. And this right here is wintry mix. I know we're in April and it's wintry mix. It's pretty crazy to think about. So this is a couple days out, so we do want to just let you know things can change, but stay with us on OU Nightly to get more updates on that. And then after then, all of this is going to leave before we warm back up again. Looking at the 7-day forecast, 70 for Monday. This is the 40% for our northern counties that could be seeing some of those wintry mix before we warm back up into the upper 60s. Ladies, back to you.
Thanks, Emma. So, Sophia, we knew that dinosaurs roamed the earth millions of years ago, but now we know exactly how many.
You're right, it's actually really interesting. Scientists from the University of California, Berkeley, discovered that billions of T-Rex lived before going extinct.
The T-Rex might be the most popular of prehistoric beings, and they lived here in Oklahoma.
Scientists also found that 20,000 T-Rex lived in North America at any one time, and one dinosaur could be found about every 39 miles.
Well, 186 miles south, about 5 dinos away if you're keeping count, the OU Gymnastics are getting ready to compete.
Sydney Baulier has the latest as the women flip into action.
That's right, ladies. The gymnasts take the floor at NCAA qualifiers, and Brady Manick has made a decision that does not include the Crimson and Cream. You won't want to miss this. Well, Kaleigh, what a long week it's been.
I know, Sydney, but I've got the remedy, Big Friday Sports.
You're right, Kaleigh, and it's been a busy day for sports, so let's get right to it. Kaleigh, it looks like it's time to say bye-bye Brady after 4 years in the Crimson and Cream. The once beloved forward, Brady Manick, is switching it up.
That's right, Sydney. Manick is saying goodbye to Norman, and he'll spend his last year of NCAA eligibility repping the Carolina Blue for the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Manick amassed nearly 1,500 points in his career at OU and joins a long list of players leaving the program. And there's been a lot of changes recently to Sooner men's basketball program, and we now know who is going to be backing up Porter Moser. Today, the newly named head coach announced 6 coaches and support staff that will assist him with the program.
The staff includes the previously announced KT Turner as the associate head coach and Emmanuel Diddley as the assistant coach. Both men have reputations as development-focused coaches and recruiters.
Moser also stuck to his roots, bringing in Matt Gordon and Clay Custer over from Loyola. Custer played under Moser and was a crucial member of the squad that made it to the Final Four in 2018.
Some familiar faces also returned: Director of Operations Mike Shepard and Director of Scouting Matt Gordon. Moser is expected to announce a third assistant in the next few weeks.
And you know what, Kaleigh? Brady Manick may be a goner, but Tanner Groves wouldn't be a bad replacement.
Well, Sydney, then we may be in luck. The former Eastern Washington Eagle released his Final Four, and Oklahoma has made the list. Along with Portland, Washington State, and Texas, OU is in the hunt to be the new home for Psycho T.
And what an exciting weekend it could be for Sooner gymnastics. Both the men and the women are chasing national titles.
The men are out in Minneapolis and just recently clinched a spot in the NCAA qualifier to compete in Day 2 tomorrow. The Sooners finished with the top score of the day, and trailing behind them is Nebraska and Ohio State.
Meanwhile, the women are down south in Fort Worth, just now gearing up for their first day of the NCAA qualifier. The women will be competing against 7 other teams tonight to make the cut for Day 2.
And even in rainy weather, there is still action going down right now in our backyard. Big Friday sports reporter Ben Thomas joins us live from the Track and Field Sooner Invitational. Ben?
I'm here at the John Jacobs Track Complex, where the Sooner men's and women's track and field teams are hosting their first 2 home meets today and tomorrow for the Sooner Invitational. As for today, the Sooner women are off and running as sophomore Madison Langley Walker is currently leading her field in the heptathlon by 50 points, winning the 100-meter hurdles, the high jump, and the 200-meter. And for the men, sophomore Christo Simulask leads his field in the decathlon by 84 points after finishing first in the long jump and finishing second in both the 100-meter and the shot put. Now the day is still far from over as the finals and prelims for the individual events are currently taking place. Sydney and Kaleigh, the Sooners look to keep this hot start throughout the weekend. Back to you.
Thanks, Ben. The baseball game at K-State that was scheduled for this evening was postponed due to inclement weather.
The Sooners and Wildcats will play a doubleheader Saturday beginning at 2 in Manhattan, Kansas. The second game will begin 45 minutes after Game 1 ends.
But if you're itching for some action, the OU softball team is in Norman all weekend. And there might be some competition for the softball team this weekend with the number 6 ranked Longhorns in Norman.
OU currently has the best record of 30-0, but Texas is not far behind with the second best record of 31-3. The first game begins tonight in Norman at 6 p.m. And the women's tennis team will close out the regular season tonight with a match against the Jayhawks.
The ladies are coming off a 3-game winning streak that pushed them to number 24 in the ITA rankings. Tune at 5 p.m. to watch the ladies swing one last time for the 2021 season.
Still to come on Big Friday Sports, you do not want to miss this catch made at the Pirates game.
And the Thunder really needs a win tonight. Stay with us.
And welcome back to Big Friday Sports. If you plan on heading out and watching the #1 women's OU softball game, tonight at 6 o'clock is the first game we're going to be at 53 degrees, so maybe grab a light jacket. But Saturday and Sunday, these temperatures are going to be at the start of your game, so we're definitely looking like Sunday is going to be the best day to watch OU take on the University of Texas. Back to you.
Well, today is a good day for soccer fans here in the U.S. as the MLS kicks off tonight.
The first matchup of the regular season is between the San Jose Earthquakes and the Houston Dynamo at 7 p.m. on ESPN+. 2020 League MVP Alejandro Pozuelo and Toronto FC play Thierry Henry's FC Montreal in 401 Derby at 2 p.m. on Saturday. And you can catch Austin FC's inaugural match against Carlos Vela and Will Ferrell's LFC at 5.
The OKC Thunder have a chance to break their 8-game losing streak tonight against the Detroit Pistons.
That's right, Lou Dort is expected to return to the lineup after missing Wednesday's game with a sore shoulder.
Thunder fans may not want the losing streak to end as Oklahoma City first-round pick continues to climb the draft boards. Tip-off is set for 6 p.m.
Last night, the WNBA draft went down, and Kaleigh, I'm sure you can guess who the #1 pick was.
Yes, Sydney. It was no surprise that the Dallas Wings used their first pick in the draft to grab Charlie Collier out of Texas.
The Wings weren't done there. They also had the second pick via the draft lottery and used it to pick up Awakawia, the 6-foot 5-inch post from Finland. After being denied his first career home run twice Wednesday, Adolis Garcia secured the dub Thursday night by hitting a homer in the 10th inning. This led to the Rangers' 6-4 win over the Tampa Bay Rays.
Garcia is the second player in Rangers Senators franchise history to hit their first career home run in an extra inning. If any Major League Baseball team is looking for a new outfielder, then they are in luck.
One lucky lady caught a foul ball in an American fashion, one-handed with a beer in the other hand, and she just grabbed it out of the air like it was nothing. That skill, she's obviously been to a baseball game before. That's all the time we have today for Big Friday Sports. I'm Sydney Baulier.
And I'm Kaleigh Tingelstad. Enjoy your sports-filled weekend. Good night.